Are boundaries important in our life? I think so. I think boundaries are very important, especially if we're playing the game of life. If we play a game of tennis or a game of football or any other game, there is generally some sort of boundary or rules that we have to play the game within. So if we're playing our own game and we are the main character, there must be a boundary of sorts that we uphold if we want to play the game efficiently and effectively. How do we find boundaries? I think we can define our boundaries by what our values are. So we need to understand, first of all, what our values are. Truth, integrity, trust, service, care to others, love, compassion, empathy, sympathy, you name it. Hundreds of different values and words that describe different ways of being. So you need to get clear on what your values are so that you can have a set of boundaries, which ultimately means what you accept versus what you do not accept. And that is personally within, with our thoughts, with our expressions, with our actions, with our words, and externally, what we accept from other people, what we accept from our loved ones, our families, our communities, from society as a whole, governments. So, in order to get really clear and to work in line with our boundaries, we must have the values, of course, and then we must uphold them. So, what if you have intrusive thoughts that are trying to tell you to do something that goes away and against what your highest values are? You start with a no. You start with a big, fat no. Boom. Stop it in its tracks. And then get to understand it. And then have compassion for that part of you. And then work on integrating that part of your being that wants to go against what you believe your highest values are. This is living in truth. This is living according to what you believe is a high value, which is ultimately what you believe is true, subjectively to yourself. And oftentimes the highest values that we can strive for are going to be the highest values that most others are going to strive for. So it's going to be a collective value. It's going to be a collective truth that we can uphold, that we can do our best job to uphold the values of society through our personal actions and behaviors. So it's a no to anything that comes into our field, internally, externally, that does not align with our highest truth. It's a no. And then it's a curious inquiry into the origins of where the thoughts come from, where the actions that we take come from, and where the thoughts, words, and actions of others come from that affect our alignment with our highest truth or our highest values. So, practically, it comes in, we say no. Just like someone trying to punch us, someone trying to hit us, someone offending us. We say no. We put up a wall and say, no, I do not accept this. I do not accept this whatsoever. However, I am willing to understand it and I'm willing to integrate it into a higher way of being. Because these previous thoughts, these lower vibrational thoughts, these intrusive thoughts that lead to misaligned actions and behaviors are all parts of us that are in the shadow, that are in the unconscious, that we're unaware of, that coming from a dark source that we can work on and that we can work to integrate this darkness or this unconscious behavior. And once we integrate it, by being curious, by understanding it, by befriending it, by accepting it, we can grow, we can transform, and we can grow higher into alignment with our highest values and our highest truth.